Sanctuary seems to be the popular choice of the day, and I am getting proved wrong. 1, 2.
Just the heart container, though. I think Fiesel's gonna get everyone synced up, so.
I got proved wrong 4 times in a row.
Nice. So I think the big question everyone has is how many B bottles are we gonna get?
Oh, that's an easy answer. At least 3, I think, is the right answer.
It's just so disappointing. I think I'd rather get an empty bottle than a B bottle because I have to get rid of the B if I want to fill it.
Yeah, but like sometimes the bottle vendor will give you a present, and the first full prize
That's nice.
is an amazing 80 rupees.
Really useful. It's good knowing that because they can also pull the tree up just past Sanctuary if they're going to go check the logging hut.
Absolutely. What they get to do is pull it on the way in here, kill something in here, then on the way out, pull it again, and then like when they go to Sanctuary, they can get at least another 160 rupees.
So they got one little... I like crossproduct actually putting the cane to use, but they just got the blue cane, which this early is an item that you can use to kill enemies. So you can go into Mini Moldorm Cave with just like 1 bomb, and you can kill the things, assuming you have enough magic.
Right. And Smbai did a really interesting usage to find out the second pull prize, which was what looked like some hearts. And in fact were.
They looked like hearts, but were they something else?
It could have been anything.
One of those negative hearts, you pick it up and it hurts you instead.
We can make those.
Oh, why am I giving you ideas? Alright, let's see. Looks like all 4 of our runners are heading up to the logging hut. Of course, we farm some rupees because we can.
Oh, I agree with this. Every time you're passing by a tree, you should be farming extra rupees in this.
Yagamoth farming twice. Now, there is another tree inside the Lost Woods, so he could have continued on if he wants, but he's really farming it, isn't he?
Maybe he's just making it so he doesn't have to worry about it ever again. Which, you get to 750 rupees and you're pretty set for the entire rest of the run.
It's true. So if we miss anything, chat, please let us know. I mean, there's 4 racers going on here. We're bound to miss something, so call them out as you see them.
Give it up for our tracker, Sir Link-a-Lot. Trusty tracker.
He has a lot of work ahead of him. So, nothing major, just a blue cane so far. There was nothing in the logging hut, so we don't know. They might not need to kill Ganon. I don't want to give any definites yet, because there's other reasons to go kill Ganon. So, right now, not for the item. They could just go kill him for fun.
No one
3 minutes well spent.
For fun.
Yeah.
You know what?
Strats.
I think from now on, when you and I race, you just have to kill Ganon every single one from here on out.
Is that my handicap?
Handicap? No, I thought you said you'd do it for fun.
Alright, looks like they are going to buy some bombs. They didn't get any, because none of the prize packs or anything dropped it. So they're going to make their way, buy some bombs, and then probably head north into town so they can check everything. It looks like Cross is hoping for the rare bombs from chests.
I don't think this is a bad play.
Oh wait, when did he get a bomb?
I think he got one off the kill in the very beginning when he used his cane.
We have a glove inside of Steve's hut here. And a suit upgrade.
That's actually pretty legit. Well, he's down to just 1 bomb left. So
that's alright.
I hope it yields more bombs.
They still do well at least, and then I mean, if he has to buy bombs right before the chicken hut, that's not too bad.
That's true. That's actually Christos's hut.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, he likes to have the chickens. They do well in there, but that's very much his hut.
Christos is just, his sign is on the front, isn't it?
If you talk to the old lady, she tells you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so the big question about cross-product is he gonna go and check the cross-product character in the game?
Yes. He talks about it all the time. He's like, I will do this during my race.
Okay. We'll see if he gets our cross-product of the day.
So we have a Moon Pearl, and we have gloves. They are missing one item to get into the Dark World at this point. They either need another glove or a hammer, or they need a way to kill Aghanim.
That's true.
That's it. That's it. They'll be going to the Dark World really soon. So keep an eye. Here we go. Cross product.
He's
After
buy
he buys
bombs
the bombs,
he knows better.
I think he's gonna go talk to himself.
Well, has he done the chicken hut? I don't think he had a bomb for that, so he might do that first.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to Cross. Well, I mean, we're seeing everyone else basically farm town finishing up. They had to go buy bombs their way north. Just finishing up here.
Cross had probably the more efficient route through here because he did have some bombs coming into town. But in the end, we're talking like frames, not really a whole lot to talk about. And he's about to lose those by, talking to random NPCs.
No. Don't lose them. They're frames well spent. Here we go. He's doing it.
Oh, that's exciting.
Let's see what... Just for Cross, it's Smbai! Don't argue with a frozen dead rock. He'll never change his position. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Shoutouts to Smbai also visiting Cross Product.
That's amazing. It put them in sync for a second, too.
It did. Alright, nothing exciting at the race game, so... They're probably just gonna go head towards, Mini Moldor Cave. It's usually a good one. They did pick up gloves, though, so it looks like Kong, at least, is going to the back of Escape. Which is a great 3 items to get.
It's really quick. You already have the items you need to check it, and if you're feeling, if you find a small key and you're feeling daring, especially with the boomerang, you could potentially go and grab the one last item that's in the dark.
So we have 3 of our players, it looks like they're going for it, and Smbai heading over to Eastern, maybe?
Yeah, behind Sarasahala, and maybe just making a play straight on Eastern.
We got Silvers in Escape.
That's good. They also got the key, so we'll see if any of our 2 other runners decide that it's worth making the jaunt into the dark.
Was that the single arrow? I sort of missed it.
I think it had some writing on it.
Well, I know the last one was definitely the Silvers. Oh, it was a piece of heart. Okay, and it was a silver arrow. Yep. We have it clipped.
That's great.
Alright, Kong making their way down to Mini Moldorm and the dam area. Behind Sahashala, nothing much. Just a heart container.
For how early they are in the game, they do have a lot of health.
They do. Ooh, boots, though.
Was that
That's nice to have.
Floodgate?
Yeah.
Nice.
So this will be a quick seed so far. We'll see. I'm hoping for the tortures later on. It's too giving right now. Like here, have Blue Cane, have gloves, have Moon Pearl. Stick bow in Turtle Rock.
Did Yagamoth do the bomb into?
Yeah, he must have since he doesn't have the boots, and so that's a way to visit the Houlihan room. He now has 500 rupees, so he could fake Flipper over to the Zora area, which is nice because since he has Moon Pearl, he can check the Waterfall Fairy when he goes over there.
And he'll even have the boots, which means he can dash all the way there, which is extremely quick to check Zora. It's the fastest way you can get to.
So Smbai is making a play for Eastern. He's just I guess based on how he feels against his opponent,
And you just disappeared on us, little there, Jet.
Oh, sorry, my mic. It looks like Smbai's making a play.
The commentary team is not Stoop Storp.
What? Stoop Storm? Cross product making a play too to Desert. That's interesting.
It's a long play, but I kind of agree with it. Agina is has been shown to be strong in this particular version of logic. And also the knowledge of what's on the ledge can be huge.
It's a suit upgrade.
Okay, so not that huge, but if the hearts stop coming from here to the end, that could be very, important to these players. 6 hearts isn't a whole lot to work with.
I mean, it's a quick pickup if you're gonna go there. We have a bottle in the ice cave, which is actually their first bottle, from what I can tell. It's gravity suit, yes, of course. And a bottle in a Gina's cave, so I mean, Cross could follow the fetch quest type thing. At least he has boots.
Did somebody say the bow?
Bow and hammer. In Eastern? Holy moly.
Well, so it looks like the place to be is Eastern, and our players will probably get there eventually. No one wants to defeat Aghanim, and they don't logically really can't go too many more places.
So with bow and hammer, he now has access to all of the Dark World. We are not killing Aghanim this seed.
That is correct. There is no need to go after Aghanim.
And it looks like Lantern was required. Well, Lantern's always required to beat Eastern, but the big key was behind it. Oh man, if Cross is heading up there too, he's about to get payday. Yagamoth's doing his fake flippers. Kong's finishing the fake flippers section. He also has plenty of rupees, so he's gonna. So here, if you look at Kong and Yagamoth's side, they'll go visit the waterfall fairy. I think. Yes.
I'm pretty sure they will, absolutely. And the real question is, we know the amount of good stuff that's in Eastern. Will this lead them on a sequence break that may hurt them more?
Well,
is the real question.
Getting bow, so bow and hammer were before the dark room, so it's not a sequence break.
No, but going up to Zora is.
Right. I was going to say, for the people going to Eastern, that's not a sequence break. Right. For the people that are visiting Zora, I guess we'll say, right?
Well, just the Waterfall Fairy. There was nothing in there. Technically, with the the Power Glove, they have access to Zora. And they're just kind of finding the faster way there.
It is much faster to use that warp. And Water Dash.
Oh yeah, Water Dash. This is just amazing, because there's that line right there you can dash all the way to Zora on.
Although I found out the hard way, if you hit that pebble that's in the middle of the deep water, then you're done. Like, that's it. We get a book from Zora.
Ooh, that's interesting. So that might... well, I guess you're not sequence breaking at that point. That book is technically available to you.
I see crossproduct just picked up his hammer, which is really nice. That's a really nice play. Smbai is finishing Armos right now. And Kong's looks like he's going to put that book right to use right away.
I think, yeah, push the advantage that you think you have over your opponents.
Soggy literacy.
Well, Zora likes to read. What can we say?
Like, this is a great book. Here, you should have it. Okay, so the three items were bow, hammer, and a bottle. We have 3 bottles already, and none of them are bees. Vitor, what did you do?
I must have grabbed the wrong seed. I have no idea what is in any of these.
I didn't even know you could generate seeds without bees.
Why? It has to happen. Logically, at some point, there has to be at least one that has no bees.
No. People can make them. I didn't think you could.
There's still a bottle left.
It's true. Alright, there's the bow for cross product. Smbai, where is he off to? Is he going to Death Mountain?
Yeah, I think he's going to go for the sequence break up to Death Mountain.
So, if he doesn't get Hookshot or Mire, he's done. Like, once he gets up to Death Mountain, he'll see what's on Spectacle Rock, and that's pretty much it.
No, the intended progression item has to be in Desert at this point. It's probably the lamp, would be my guess at this point.
I mean, Hammer and a Glove, they have access to Dark World. They could go to Thieves. Like, Lancer could be in Thieves.
You say these things, but come on, it's got to be Desert.
Does it? There's Mire in Desert, though.
Hey, look at that.
That's progression.
That's actually a huge item. I mean, we haven't actually peeked at the Dark World yet to see what's going on. But if Swamp is required, then that is a very much required item that they're going to need.
Mire is something Smbai was probably hoping for here. And he's actually a long way from... Because you need Book so far. No, yeah, you definitely need to go get Book if you want to access Desert, because Mire is in there.
Yes. That Mire is locked behind a flippered maniac.
Yeah, but you don't need flippers to get him.
No. He's just a flippered maniac. I don't know. I felt like saying that. He seems friendly on the exterior, but really he's just scaly.
Alright, looks like nothing good up at Death Mountain. Yagamoth and Kong both making their way through Desert. And Cross is doing the hardest Dark Room in Eastern. Although he has Hammer, and that will kill the Cyclops or Cyclopses.
Igors?
Sure.
Alright, so Kyung's got his 2 items. He is peacing out.
He's done because he can't, since he doesn't, I couldn't tell if it's a crystal or pendant dungeon. However, he has no fire. Did he get Ice Rod?
It looks like he got an Ice Rod.
Ice Rod in Desert. Wow, chat, you're good at this. But yeah, you cannot fight Lamolas because you're missing Lantern or Fire Rod. You need either of those to light the lamps to reveal the boss door.
Now, cross product using the blue cane to kill himself and Igor.
Alright, well, he got the key, so he's actually done once he makes his way up to the door. Break the bottle, or the pot, with the hammer.
He has plenty of life to do that room, which is nice.
Yeah, Kong picked up the red suit. He's getting a heart container from the sick kid.
And we have our first play on Dark World coming from Smbai.
So they got Mire, but it looks like you still are missing Lantern, so it's not like Death Mountain was considered part of the logic just yet. I mean, they can still make a play for it.
Right.
And it looks like Yagamoth's going to finish checking the rest of the castle.
Well, that's right, we haven't really seen that yet, have we?
So they already picked up a small key here. There's at least a map in one of the next 4 chests. There's 3 chests downstairs in the basement, and there's 1 in the dark room. So if they don't find the map, they're good. They know it's in the dark room.
I really liked Yagamoth's strat there. He just walked right by the guard.
He doesn't need to spend the key, so why not?
Yep, that's a really smart move.
Or I mean, he could spend the one he had, I should say.
Yeah, well, and it's about the same distance to go from the front as it is to go from the back with boots.
It's interesting. I feel like Yagamoth and Kong are both taking like very similar routes so far.
They are, and Cross and Smbai both had the same like attack on Eastern.
Now, since Smbai never went to the southern portion of Light World, he's still walking around. He never got his boots, but at the same time, he's the first one of our runners in the Dark World.
Well, cross product right behind him.
Is he gonna go right for Hype Cave?
I would think that would be the play. It's a lot of chests. No one has any weapons yet. Any real weapons, that is.
I like this play. Oh, we have Magic Powder as one of the items in Skull Woods here.
Ooh, that means the bat's gonna be online pretty quickly.
Yaga didn't skip boots, did he?
No, I think he's just walking. Nope, he skipped them.
Did he just go to Mini Moldarm?
Must have.
Oh, game. Well, actually, I think that's intentional from Smbai, since he had no health.
We did get a map check, and I hope our tracker caught that from Cross.
Alright, I hope you're ready, chat. Get your hypes ready. We're gonna get something good here, like bombs, and rupees, and arrows. It's so bad.
But let's not take away from Kyung's ice kill of the guard down in the basement by freezing the one guard and throwing the other guard into him.
So since they did pick up a map, there is an item up in the dark room. Let's see, Cross having second thoughts about going into escape. Smbai making his way through the dark world, through Village Valcast here.
I'm guessing Smbai is going to have to find that lamp soon, because They're getting to a point where they really ought to be finding it, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if they get it much later. The way this logic is so far. I mean, if they pick up a flute, they suddenly have access to pretty much all of Death Mountain.
And to respond to Languim in chat, I did not remove the hype from Hype Cave. People change their perception of what is hype. Bombs are hype. Pieces of heart are hype. Just twist how you look at the reality of what is hype, and you will love Hype Cave again. Christos, the boots were in the floodgate. He'll know what that means.
So there are 4 items in Thieves, which is where Smbai is right now. I think he picked up 1 so far, maybe 2. I sort of missed what was in the second chest. And Kyong, has he gone to Eastern yet?
No. The only 2 people who have done our Eastern Path are Cross and Smbai.
Okay, yeah, so he doesn't have hammer and bow yet, that's why. That makes sense. That is a hard call to make. When bow is sitting in Eastern, like, typically you want to get bow. Green Pendant at Turtle Rock. So typically you want bow before you make your way, there. To Eastern. Sorry, I was watching Yagamoth. He's looking for the chest with his boomerang. He's still there. Like, it's tricky when you don't have a sword to sort of figure out where you are. It can be tricky. To find that chest.
It's actually called boom location.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Instead of echolocation?
Yeah, it's a quite an effective trick if you're in Misery Mire. You can use boom location because the point is when you throw the boomerang, you can still move relatively well, unlike if you were to do it with the hook shot, where you are stuck in place while you're trying to... Sorry.
So yeah, so it looks like Kong just picked up his hammer, and this will be nice. He'll get his bow, and then as long as he can do the dark rooms, which I think we're fine, then that can be a crystal.
And Yagamoth will be right behind him.
But no boots.
I think when our 2 players who don't have boots, when Yagamoth and Smbai find boots, they're really going to be kicking themselves with them because they're going to have to sit there and think their opponents had boots the entire game.
So something important just happened. Smbai picked up the Titan's mitts in the vanilla dungeon that it comes from.
Oh, and crossproduct got our lamp.
Oh, so see, it was Village Valcast. Told you.
Yeah.
You said
of course
desert,
you did.
Please.
No, Desert only had 2 other important pieces of stuff. I don't know. It had Ice Rod and Mirror.
Well, Ice Rod might not be required because Sea Rock is a green pendant.
You're right. We found the Ice Rod.
We can hope.
First.
We can hope.
But if you find it in the first 20 minutes, you know it's not required.
If you find Ice Rod?
Yeah, that's just how that works.
Not getting them ready to tackle T-Rock and kill Trinex later?
Yeah, it's not true. If you find Ice Rod, then you still have a 30-70% chance kind of going on. And it's not even that. It's actually more like you have a 76% chance you'll need it.
So, Smbai didn't do the big chest in Thieves here. I'm assuming he grabbed the 4 items. Like, we're already done. Titans, of course, being the big find here.
I don't know if he'll do a count, but he might swap off of hammer. He might do the first few hammer hits and then switch, and we'll be able to see if he has, like, how many things he has in his menu. If he doesn't have a compass or map, then we know that he's skipping it on purpose. But he also is shy key.
So he would have skipped the last chest, which has a small key next to Maiden.
Yeah.
So no map, no compass.
So he did some really good dungeon counting there to know that the last 3 things that he's going to find are all useless.
Alright, so Titan's pretty huge. Fine. Kong's making his way through Dark Eastern here. That's such a tough room in the dark. Like,
By the way-
it's...
Go ahead.
What's that?
I was gonna say, Dragon Feeney, I love the Pizza Hut.
Oh.
That's amazing. Sorry. Continue on. I just saw that in chat and it caught my eye.
So this is 2 1v1 matches. Cross product is going against Yagamoth. Whoever wins there, wins for their set. And Kyong is going against Smbai. I would say it's difficult to say who's really in the lead. I would say Cross Product's looking pretty good because he has that, he has a crystal, and he's been in Dark World. Yagamoth just picked up his hammer. Same thing, Smbai has been in Dark World, but they each have different items. Like you see, Yagamoth and Kyong have Book, and they visited Desert and picked up the Mire so far. So there are differences.
I'd say our player that has the most effective dungeon diving set is probably Kyong at this point, having the mirror and the boots. That's going to get you the most bang for your buck doing dungeon diving.
Well, I'm hoping we actually see some Death Mountain now. Technically, since Lantern, it was sitting in Village of Outcasts, it's now open. And you'll probably want to use Mire to get up to Tower of Hera, use your hammer to get onto the right-hand side. There's a lot of items over there. Unfortunately, Tower of Hera is a pendant dungeon, so could be worth, might not be worth. It's hard to say.
Well, it's a pendant dungeon, but it's, a quick check. It's not like it's a long pendant dungeon. You're talking like 3 floors, go up, kill Moldorm. Nothing too bad.
So why does Frog turn into Bomberman?
You can ask Zarby that, because he's the original creator of the Frog sprite. And I would tell you who created all the other sprites, but what'll happen is if I get one of them wrong, I'll feel absolutely horrible, so I'm not going to mention who made the other sprites.
Are we actually getting arrow shots from Cross? It doesn't even work!
You can't hit him with arrows, Cross.
Oh, man.
Is he trying to figure out what all you can hit him with? He should know this.
He needs to be careful. He's going to run out of magic. Which is okay because you have Hammer to finish it up, but it's probably better to use Hammer on the first phase and Blue Cane on the last 2 phases.
Yagamoth does the most expensive kills of the squiggle monsters I've ever seen, giving each one of them a silver arrow.
What choice does he have, though?
He could have done the Cane of Burna.
Oh, Cross takes his death, but he has a fairy, because he picked up that fairy bottle.
Yes, he did. So he's going to have to get this last hammer hit in.
Oh, he was just about to hit.
And we get Kyong checking Bombos without the Master Sword or better, and finding out that it's just some cash.
That's good to know. That's good knowledge. Although it's a shame Kyong didn't... Oh, because he went the back way, didn't he?
Yes.
So, he since we know where mitts are, he'll be able to do Shovel Game and Old Stumpy here, and then he'll have to leave. And you know what? They have bow and they have hammer, so they could do Palace of Darkness whenever they want. Yeah,
I think, given that means Palace of Darkness probably doesn't have anything hype, but you would still want to go do it. Palace of Darkness only has hype things when you don't have enough to get through it in one sitting.
I think so far the big play of this game is just checking out Eastern. Like, that was where the worth was to progress. So, really what we're looking for right now, we're looking for Cane, we're looking for Fire Rod, we're looking for Flute, and we're looking for some sort of medallion.
Yes, and after we have
that's it, and Hookshot, of course. Always Hookshot. And Flippers, because you have to beat Swamp. Okay, so we still have a lot of items to look for and get.
Have you already figured out all of the ways they could be trolled into the pedestal?
We have 2 vanilla dungeons that are pendants, but Turtle Rock's also a pendant. With Turtle Rock there, it could still be Flute. It could still, of course, always be a medallion.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be Fire Rod, however. That's important. It can't be Cane either. It could be Flippers. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.
It would be thoroughly amazing if it were a sword, and the other 2 swords were locked on Bombos and Ether.
Oh man, because then you're like, well, I don't need this sword, but at the same time, yeah, you do.
That would be hilarious. But that's probably never gonna happen. That's a Plando, is what that is.
Did you sneak a Plando in?
No! Every one of these has been absolutely random, and it just goes to show you how much, like, how amazing the logic can be at times.
There were so many digs in the shovel game that we actually got to see the text dialogue pop up at the end. Wait, did we just get a... Oh, no. Okay, I thought we missed a pedestal check. I was worried there. I don't want to miss that.
No, you do not. No one wants to miss that.
Somebody's making the full check, since he did get Titans. He's able to do the purple chest here. But he doesn't have Mire, so he can't check south of the Grove.
That's right.
Oh, and that's... Oh, that's why... So that's why... The way he did the purple chest means he had to do a save and quit for the dwarves.
Right, and I think I liked Crosspath there, where he kind of starts on the Frog World Tour. Although I think I would have taken the frog all the way up to Catfish. I mean, if you're going to save and quit, why not?
Just the full world tour.
Yeah, well,
Get your money's worth out of it.
Well, you can't do it with the purple chest.
That's right, yeah. So yeah, each of our runners in their respective races having... He's arrowing the lady. Having different items that like each of them need. Cross and Smbai needing that Mire, and Kyong and Yagamoth, of course, eventually hoping to get those mitts.
Ooh, did we have powder already? Did we know where powder was?
Yes, we had powder.
Smbai did find it, yeah.
Powder was in Skullwoods.
We missed the pedestal check.
What was it? Chat!
Everyone's like...
Oh, I just restream.
The mushroom is at the pedestal.
That is so trolly. Oh my gosh, what do you do with that knowledge?
I don't know. You hope that there's nothing at the witch, is what you do.
That is the... Anytime you see mushroom like at pedestal, or... I mean, I think that happened to Andy before, where he made a gamble for like powder at pedestal.
It was the powder,
it did not pay off. It's like, what do you do? Or if it's in the logging hut, like, that's 3 minutes to kill Aghanim on the chance that it actually leads somewhere. And we were going through before, at least half the items they need could be at the pedestal or related to that path. I think more than half at this point. So it's like you really have to decide, is this where it is?
I think you play your game and you go after your your crystal dungeons. And if you go into a pendant dungeon, you just beat it, and that's kind of where you stay.
Sure, and then if you just have enough by the end, hey.
Yeah, because at some point you're gonna run out of things you can do, and that's when you have to go and be like, all right, it's time to go pull the pedestal.
So Yagamoth's the only one with that knowledge, so he's already at Desert. So he might go back or he might not. But maybe when he goes up to Tower Harry, he'll make sure to beat it. But then he can turn a rock.
Ooh, and Smbai, when he gets back to the floodgate, he is gonna.
Oh my gosh, he's doing this.
Why didn't I stop there for those boots?
That's okay. He does have some advantages though, with the crystal and the mitts. But Kong's well on his way. He's gonna dip in the thieves soon. Man, they still have not found a sword.
Swords are overrated. They have a hammer. It's like a sword.
That should have been one of the things I mentioned earlier. For the things they need 2 swords.
Yes.
So what if one of the swords is from the mushroom? Like that is the first sword. What if that's the first sword?
That means you're defeating... No, it can't be. Because you have to get into Turtle Rock. And you need a sword to get into Turtle Rock.
Oh, because you have to use the medallion. Right. Tower of Hera. Stop. No. I pronounce everything wrong. It's Tower of Hera. I just say it quickly. Tower of Hair.
Tower of Hair. That's a really unique area. That would be funny, though. I mean, the Master Sword could be the thing in the mushroom.
Sure. And like you mentioned, that could well, we know at least one of the tablets is just Couch Cash.
Yes. And cross product being smart, knowing that you cannot item dash, or you can't hammer dash without a sword. You will just bonk off of things.
So it is interesting for open, especially thinking about which dungeons you can do without the sword. I mean, the sword blocks Aghanim. It blocks Aghanim. It blocks Skull Woods because you have a vine curtain, and Mire and Turtle Rock just because you need to use a medallion, which you need a sword.
Yep. So there are a total of 4 things that are sword blocked dungeon wise. There are also the 2 tablets, which you would need the Master Sword for.
But you can check them. So Smbai just picked up his book. Is he still walking?
He's absolutely walking.
Okay, he's going to, if he decides to go to desert with his book, and he has Lantern too, so he can fully complete it. However, he'll get both items. I believe you get both. Lamo isn't holding one. So yeah, he should pick up his boots finally. He's going to be kicking himself with said pair of boots. Cross product making his way. He has everything he needs to beat Palace of Darkness. And both Yagamoth and Kong in Thieves. Again, like right next to each other. But I want to remind Chad, they're not racing each other. Yagamoth and Kong are in 2 different matches. They're racing the person next to them on the screen. It's just funny that they're both in the same area.
Bound to happen. And I really like the play from Cross Product here. He's the first person in Palace of Darkness. He has everything he needs to beat it.
Sadly, no Mire to make it fast.
If you're full clearing Palace of Darkness, I don't know how much time you... The only time that you save is the place that he's probably going to end up death warping. Which would be at the big chest.
Now, something to think about when you do happen to route Palace of Darkness is whether you have the Mire or not, because there's ways to sort of set it up so it's a little more efficient. Like right now, Cross is doing the arrows when he could have went right down the middle instead to pick up the chest, maybe do if he had enough small keys, bomb the bridge and go down there, because that warp puts you at this arrow area, or the area where you need bow. So he could have routed it all together. Now he has boots, so he can backtrack instead after he picks up these 2 chests, which isn't too bad.
Now I'm looking forward to this Kyong fight with Blind. I do love seeing these fights, like the swordless Blind fight. I
mean, Hammer's not too bad. It's a little tricky, though. I have to say. I mean, Hammer makes everything tricky. It has a weird hitbox.
Oh, I was going to say, tricky for somebody who's nearly killed Blind without taking any damage. And then, of course, I would...
It's tough. It's tough.
That was an amazing Hammer fight, though.
I see down for Kyong. Smbai making his way through desert. Cross is making his way, collecting some small keys, because I think that's all he's gotten so far.
He got a bug net.
Oh, good.
Rather happy little bug net, so he can bottle his fairies if he wants, although he ought not to bottle them yet, if he's going to death warp later.
You know, maybe if he decides to death warp, that's actually lucky he lost his fairy earlier.
Yep. Smbai is about to pick up. He already picked up his Mire, and it looks like he's just going for the Landmo kill now.
Some nice dodging by Yagamoth there. Getting a little close. Does he still do do the heads do 2 damage, or is that only when you have a green?
I think that's green tunic. The fireballs might still do the same amount of damage they always done. Although I don't honestly know, because most of my recent plays through here have been in one-hit KO, and everything just kills you.
So yeah, it looks like Smbai deciding not to finish Desert. Now, he hasn't looked, since he just got his book, he doesn't know it's at Pedestal, so he might be thinking, oh, I wish I finished this while I was here.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens as the steep progress.
That is another nice thing. Other than Turtle Rock, the 2 other pendant dungeons are pretty quick to finish.
Right, yeah. Okay, Smbai is up on Death Mountain. He has Mire since he just did Desert, so this is going to be really good. He'll be able to go into Tower of Hera and the right-hand side, and he has Mitts, so he can also go into the Dark World of Death Mountain.
We have cross-product picking up one of our medallions, the wavy coin.
Could be useful.
It makes him 1/3 happier to know that he probably has his entry into Mire taken care of. Oh, Smbai is going for a play just right on to
Wow.
Light Cave. Yeah, I think Cross is setting up a Death Warp, or he's just running into everything.
Although he decided not to open the trap room chest, I think that's normally a small key, but it doesn't have to be.
Well, if he counted his keys properly, he has 1 key left, and if he's opened every other door...
Right, that has to give you a small key.
That has to be a small key.
Red Mail was on the desert ledge. And there's the sword! We have our first sword in Palace of Darkness.
41 minutes, 50 seconds.
I mean, I don't think it's fair. They had hammer pretty early. That's sort of easy mode.
Yeah, there's a difference between a sword and a hammer.
Although it's the worst sword of the game, but it's still a sword.
At this point, I think they're happy that he's happy to have any sword. Anyone here would be happy to have a sword. It turns on both of his medallions, gets him to Skullwoods when he has the fire rod. It's everything he ever wanted.
He can go kill Aghanim for fun.
He could go kill Aghanim for fun.
Oh boy.
What was the lumberjack item, like rupees or something?
Yes. Well earned.
I believe it's actually, was it 300 rupees? Because that's a rupee hoard.
No, was it? I thought it was just a red rupee.
Oh, was it? That's probably on the level of Couch Cash, I believe. And yes, he has the ability to hammer dash now, which would be a time savings when he gets over to the hammer pegs.
So Yagamoth checking out the powder that he picked up in Skull Woods. I'm not sure if we saw this yet, but let's see what he gets. Not just Theros.
And
Smbai in Hera.
Yeah, doing the play on her.
Oh, you have to do both though. Big key down in the basement.
I mean, you're here, and you're probably just gonna finish it.
There's 2 items. Didn't he just get a compass or something? So, you have to kill Aghanim to do the Lumberjack Cave, because the Lumberjacks move after it. Like, the check is actually to kill Aghanim. You kill Aghanim, they move to a different tree. Unlocking the tree you have to bonk into to actually access that item.
I've actually had a talk with them. That's what's in their contract. They will not move to a new tree unless some mad wizard is killed. It's the weirdest thing. Having the sword for Helmsor King is also nice for Cross, because then he gets to utilize this tactic of keeping it extended and hammering. Without a sword, you don't get that at all.
And he has silvers, so you can just one-shot him then, like that, right after you break his helmet.
That was kind of easy mode, Helmsor King. And we have Kyong going in, who's going to be getting his first sword.
He's right there behind Cross. Like, he's making some good progress catching up. Because Smbai decided to head up, which I think is also a decent choice, heading up to Death Mountain. He's not going to have a sword. Well, maybe he'll find one up here. But he might get some other progression items. I have a feeling there's something good up at Death Mountain. Hopefully no commentator's curse here.
Yeah.
I really like checking Death Mountain. It's a good place to go. There's a lot of items.
Just cursing people left and right.
Dude, I'm still hoping that mushroom leads to something and someone has to make a play for it. Oh, look! A fire rod up in Hera.
Of course. Of course it is.
In a
You
pendant
expect no
dungeon.
less. So somebody in chat had asked. Sorry, somebody in chat had asked, what was the lumberjack item in vanilla? Pretty much every standing item in vanilla, other than the mushroom, should be a piece of heart. I believe. I can't think of any other standing items offhand.
Yeah, if you can see it, it's probably going to be a piece of heart.
Yeah. I'm gonna continue.
So there are two items in Hera. Smbai picked up one of them, which was the fire rod, but unfortunately he sort of missed setting up the bomb jump, so he fell a couple of floors. But he still has another item to get. If it happens to be in the big chest, he might just leave, because he did do the same thing for Desert.
You know, I'd be 50-50 on leaving this dungeon, because Desert, once you get the flute, it's real quick to get back to. This particular dungeon, not so much.
It's really not that much of a time loss for Desert, because you have to go into the back anyway. It's really not that bad. But what if Mushroom leads to Flute?
Well, that would just be plain awful.
Yeah.
And amazing.
We know what to hope for. Alright, I think Cross is also making his way up to Death Mountain. Mushroom the shovel to Flute.
That's just... Why would you do that?
Vanilla.
Can't we get another fetch quest? Is there anything else we can fetch with? Ah, the cape. You can throw the cape in there to get something on the bumper cave ledge.
Oh, and Smbai doesn't have a sword yet, so he's doing full hammer shots. I mean, you sort of probably want to use the hammer anyway, because it's only 3 hits, and there you go, Moldorm's dead.
I would say the only time, like, if you have fighter sword, you're going to use the hammer if you have the hammer here, or I mean, even when I have the master sword, I generally use the hammer anyway. It is 3 spins, but I don't know, I find the hammer is a lot easier to deal with, because you're not, like, crimped walking around slowly with your sword extended.
So Yagamoth making his way back into the sewer area. I guess now that he did he pick up? Well, we'll see if he has lantern.
I don't think he has lamp.
He has lantern.
All right, we'll wait for the tracker to get updated on that one. By the way, again, give it up for Sir Link-a-Lot doing tracking of 4 separate runners. We can barely keep up with them ourselves, and we got one guy doing all of this.
So sadly, I don't think he's going to get anything here. Kyong did the same path, and I don't remember what it was. It just wasn't worth. That was a rupee hoard.
That's a lot of rupees. Cross product gonna get his arrows from the spike cave. It was arrows, right? We'll just say it was arrows.
He has to be careful. He's not gonna have any magic after this.
Magic's free. If his plan is Hera after this, there's ways for him to get magic.
That's true. 4 streams, 1 tracker, yes. Definitely give a shout out for Sir Link-a-Lot. Alright, Kyong just beat King Helmasaur. Yagamoth making his way over to Pod, so he'll get a sword eventually.
This is the first we've seen of King's Tomb, isn't it?
It is. I think really what's holding cross product at this point is the fact that he hasn't gone to get Book from Zora, and therefore he hasn't been to Desert to get his Mire. So he's checking all of these other locations. He's sort of running out.
This is good though. Not having many options is probably the best place to be when you're not sure what to do.
We have a red cane. I like that because there is a sword up on Death Mountain.
That'll be good.
But I like that he got it. He has Fire Rod and Ice Rod. He has the cane. If he has the medallion to get into Turtle Rock, I think he should just go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if T-Rock is accessible. It really, if it has Bombos or Quake, because Cross picked up Quake.
That's Cross is on his own journey right now for the book to get the mirror.
He's about to pick it up.
So he's got a ways off, and all our other runners are going to be after Yagamoth finishes pod, he'll be heading up there, and Kyong is heading up there. The question is Kyong going to go for the clear on here? I think you just do it.
I mean, he better go in because Fire Rod's in there, and you need Fire Rod to finish. So hopefully he'll make his way into Hera. We'll just have to see if he finished it.
Does that mean Fire Rod was lamp locked? I think that does.
Since we haven't seen Flute yet, yeah.
Yeah, but it was you had to.
Oh, because you had to do the basement. Yeah.
Yep.
So absolutely, Lantern was required to get Fire Rod the seed.
There's nothing more nice than that happening. It's like progressive lamps.
It is. Did you secretly code that in?
No. I was thinking of coding in progressive gloves, deprogressiving them if they were literally like one was locking the other one out. So like if there was a glove on the bumper cave, you could technically put the Titan's mitt there.
So basically it looks like it. So you actually see that this is the Titans and this is the second one you'll be grabbing.
Right. But I mean you can logic that out just by knowing that you need the gloves to get there.
Right.
Yagamoth was having a little dancing party with the mimic there for a second.
Okay, so Cross picked up his book, but he decided not to do desert for some reason.
I'm not entirely sure where he's going. Has he been into Skull yet?
He hasn't gotten Fire Rod yet. Although
I don't know.
Was Ice here?
No. Ice Rod is in desert.
It's happening. We're getting a T-Rock check.
Oh, he's just going in because it's Bombos. Nice. I mean, you have everything for it.
I like it. I mean, there's 5 items. He has Mire, so he can reach Mimic Cave. He has everything. Plus, it's a Sahasrahla pendant. So there are 7 items in this dungeon. Any of them could be worth.
This is a huge play. If this pays off, it's gonna be amazing. If it doesn't pay off, it's a royal waste of time.
So either Kong's gonna catch up, or he's gonna be left in the dust. Unless he also decides to make the T-Rock gamble.
Would you make the T-Rock gamble, Jet?
At this point, if I had all the items, Fire Rod, Ice Rod, Cane, Bombos to enter it, yes. In V26, I go for dungeons. If I can beat the dungeon, I will do it.
Turn over a no leaf.
It's V26, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dungeons are worth.
This has burnt me before, but I probably would still not do it. Like, I would maybe... see, the problem is, this isn't like Skull Woods where you can do half of it and walk away, or Thieves Town where you can do half of it and walk away. Once you're in, you're kind of committing to all of Turtle Rock. Looks like we got some arrows and 2 keys so far.
So you want to keep count, chat. There's 5 items in chests in here. So we already got 1, which was just arrows. So there's 4 more chests. We also have Mimic Cave, and eventually the Sahasrahla pendant.
And the only person who should really be making the play on Turtle Rock is Yagamoth for reading the pedestal, knowing
Right.
that mushroom is the prize.
He's still the only one of our runners, I think, who knows that.
Yeah.
Although he's missing fire, like he doesn't know where Fire Rod is, so.
Well, no idea what item was picked up at the Chain Chomp room.
So it looks like Cross decided to fully complete. He doesn't have Mire, so he decided to grab the purple chest since he did the dwarves earlier. He's heading to desert, so he's gonna stop and apparently farm those guys for some reason.
He's just showing off some text.
But this isn't bad running when you're missing the Mire. Like you're making this sort of routing decision to sort of put things together. And so eventually he's on his way to get the Mire. Yagamoth is just finishing up Pod now. He's gotten all of his items. He's going to go fight King Helmasar. And did we just get a Master Sword?
We got our third sword upgrade technically from Smbai and Turtle Rock.
That's nice. So now he's feeling pretty good. He has Master Sword. Once he does Pod, so he hasn't done Pod yet, has he?
No.
Because he got 2 swords up on Death Mountain.
That is correct. He got one.
And he hasn't gotten Quake. So if he happens to put himself in Go mode before he does Pod, then he might not pick up that sword. Which is okay. You can beat the game with Master Sword. And Kyong is making a play for Turtle Rock as well. He's right behind Smbai.
At least opening it, right?
Oh, he doesn't have Fire Rod, though. Oh, he's going for it. But there's a small key on the right-hand side, so I don't think he'll be able to get very far.
No, he'll get as far as the Chain Chomp room, and because Smbai picked up 2 keys in the first 2 chests, I don't think he'll find another key. But he will be able to make it to the Chain Chomp room, which we will get to see exactly what that was. So.
We got Ether. Questionable worth. Like that, if you need Ether to get into Mire, you need to do Turtle Rock, or at least you have to go do Mimic Cave. So I guess we'll wait and see once they get Flute.
Cross product going for a Death Warp. Not a bad idea. He does have the Mire now. So this will be the end of Kyong's travels into Turtle Rock, which, depending on if Smbai finds anything else.
So here's the question. Kyong's gonna leave here. Maybe he eventually does Hera, gets Fire Rod, does he go back in?
Probably not anytime soon. And I guess we'll find out what's, if the eye bridge or the roller pin room has something, then that could be the game changer.
Oh, I didn't see. It's sort of
jumpy. He slashed at it, so whatever it was slashable.
That tells us a lot. Rupees. Okay, chat caught it. The restream is a lower quality stream for us, so we might miss some things.
That, and we have Stube's jet here.
Wait, what? What did I do?
Nothing. Sorry. No, this is so how are you feeling about this so far? Are you still thinking we have a possibility of the pedestal being?
Oh, absolutely. Like we have the pedestal troll. It's teasing our runners. Unfortunately, only one of the runners actually knows that it's a tease. You had to make a gamble into Eastern to get Hammer and Bow. Although Hammer being there sort of restricted your choice, especially with Glove being, he still hates that lady. I guess it was sort of, you did get forced to go to Eastern, because that was where you needed to go in order to get to the Dark World.
So, I'm thinking, if Smbai doesn't find the flippers on this laser bridge, that could be our mushroom item.
Oh my. Like, I feel like they need to find some sort of progression soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, flippers can't
Shovel!
Not happy about the shovel.
You don't even know if you have worth yet.
Oh, and he takes a death.
Oh, he had half a heart. Oh, I guess he wanted to fill up, but he forgot he had a fairy.
Right. And
Wait, what happened? Flippers blocked book progression fell. Oh wait, what did we miss?
no,
Missed
Flippers
progression?
block book. Book was available as soon as they had their first glove upgrade.
Glove, yeah, it was at Zora. And you
Zora
don't need
is
flippers, of course, to visit Zora, because in the base game, he gives you flippers.
That would be weird if, yeah.
Alright, so Cross, since he has Mire, he's finally made his way up here. He's probably gonna, dip into Hera now, get his Fire Rod.
Let's hope. Let's hope he just goes through the whole dungeon. And then when he goes to Death Mountain East, he'll be our first player that has the potential to get the Tempered Sword.
Right. If he goes in.
Yeah, if he goes into Turtle Rock. Now, Smbai is doing a pretty good job here with Master Sword Trinax. Switching to Fire Rod for a second.
He's got to be careful watching the match. I think he has a blue potion now.
He has a blue pot.
Which he'll have to use at this point.
I think Trinax is a pretty good place to use up your blue pot. We got two people hanging out and giving us. It's actually our racers are giving themselves a high five in the Hera Tower. Is it Hera? I can't even say it either.
See? It's not easy. Alright, let's see what Trinax drops. And Kyong did pick up his Fire Rod, and he's heading back to the right.
Trinax is giving us a happy little compass.
Alright, so we have Shovel. That could potentially be something. We also have the Sahasrara pendant. That could be something.
And I don't think anyone has done a check on the first chest in Hookshot Cave, which I'm guessing Smbai is going to do right now. Maybe.
So with Turtle Rock done, if Mushroom is required, as we talked about before, it's going to be really quick. I mean, Smbai, did he finish Hera?
Don't know. And
I think he did. Yeah, he beat Moldorm, so he only has to beat Desert to check if that mushroom is worth. There's a Fire Rod for Yagamoth.
I do like that both of our runners in our top race are just going to go ahead and do Tower of Hair.
Tower of Hair.
I've given up on trying to call it anything else.
Yep, Kyong decided to go back into Turtle Rock. He has the Fire Rod. He's gonna finish it. Although I think we're gonna find out from Smbai's perspective shortly if that's worth. He's gonna check out the green pendant first, and then he'll dig up something with the shovel.
So I'm not gonna lie, this thing that Cross Product's got going on, the amount of time he spent setting up the bomb jump, he probably could have gone upstairs and fallen down. It's a really cool thing, but if you're not getting it like on your first try, you are just wasting more time.
We got rupees. We got rupees, of course.
Where did we get rupees?
From Sahasrara.
Oh, the plays. But I mean,
oh no, Cross Product's not finishing Hera. He's gotten both items. He's just leaving. That could be a mistake for all we know. I don't, we're running out of places they can check. The fact that you need flippers to get into Swamp. You need, well, they can do Fire Rod so that they can beat, although they got both items in Skullwood, so that's not an item. You need flippers technically to get into Ice, and you need Flute to get over to Mire. So, like, yeah, we're running out.
What is Cross doing right now? Did he not check the Spiral Cave before? He hasn't checked anything.
Yeah, he's just going over here the first time.
Yeah, I'm like, how has he not done this? But that's only because I've seen, 2.5 other runners do this already. Alright, so Kyong is our first runner to get the Tempered Sword. That's pretty cool.
Wait, so Yagamoth still doesn't get boots? Wait, why is he never gone to the dam? He went to desert.
I think at this point he's written it off in his head. It's probably just like gone.
Like when he goes to do swamp, he'll say it and be like, "Oh, whoops! Oh, whoops!"
Yeah, at least they have swamp coming their way, and we're pretty sure that boots aren't. Yeah, the boots obviously aren't blocking it.
So I suspect from Smbai's perspective, once he's finished Skull Woods here, he'll actually mirror, he'll do a pedestal check, he'll see its mushroom, and he'll be like, oh, I already have 2 pendants, let me go finish desert and check to see what mushroom is. But hopefully he'll dig first, because I really want to know if that was needed. Right now, we have Questionable Worth and Ether and Shovel. We don't know if those are even required.
Right. We're still missing 2 huge items, right?
We need flippers for progression. We need flute for progression.
Actually, 3. We were also missing the hookshot.
We're missing hookshot, yeah. But if they get hookshot, that doesn't actually unlock anything for them. So the next item they should get is probably flippers or flute.
Both of them would be solid choices. I think flippers actually gives them access to more total items, possibly.
Yeah, because they'll have all of ice, and they'll also have like the first half of swamp.
Right. So if their hope is to get flute, which means they have less places to check for their next item.
I actually don't know what the Fat Fairy crystals are. Oh, no, they're marked Thieves and Ice, so it could potentially be hookshot.
Like hookshot or flute.
Or flute. But it's just what you said. You get flute, then, you know, you're pretty much just running out of what you need for, like, Fat Fairy and other places you need to check afterwards.
Yeah, you're always hoping that your next progression item gives you less places to check, or like the least amount of possible places. If you get something that opens up too much of the world, then it starts coming down to gambles, which I don't know. It's fun sometimes, but if you're losing a race because you just pick, you know, right instead of left, that can be daunting.
So honestly, all of our runners pretty much on the same path. Smbai slightly ahead, just because he's already finished Turtle Rock, and he's at 1 step closer than everyone else at getting that mushroom at the pedestal.
You want that mushroom to be something.
I mean, they are running out. I mean, it's either shovel. I feel like at this point it's either shovel or mushroom. Is that flippers or flute?
And cross product learning the hard way. That you actually have to navigate this backwards without the shot.
He has just enough shots to finish this. You need 3 shots. Assuming he does it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll do it just fine.
Oh, just enough shots. Kyong just finished trying. Oh, he's about to finish try next with the tempered. He's our first player with the tempered.
Cross will be able to do this with tempered as well, and I think Yagamoth is also going to be at this with the tempered.
So I sort of missed what Smbai did. Did he check the pedestal? Does anyone know? No pedestal check. Oh, that's a shame. We don't even know. We'll never know, chat. We'll never know. I think that's gonna hurt him. That was something he could have considered in his routing. Like, he's gonna run out of places to check, and he might just do it blind.
Yeah, it could come down to that.
There's a shield. How nice.
I think Kyong is going to go, now that he has his fire rod, clean up on Skullwoods. I do wonder if, because Cross is our only runner who didn't do Hera, right?
No, Yagamoth also left. And,
so
and Kyong left. The only runner who did Hera was Smbai. Like, he's the only one who fully completed it.
Okay. Then that's not. I mean, that's not so great for Kyong if the mushroom leads to something.
Right. And there's Tempered for Cross. Smbai teasing us, not digging up the shovel. Maybe he forgot he picked up shovel.
Well, he slashed at that chest pretty aggressively.
But that wasn't a shovel chest. He slashed at a rupee chest.
No, he also slashed at the shovel chest. There's
Did he?
a whole lot of slashing going on.
Oh, you know what? He's going to check south of the grove since he didn't have Mire at the time. So he's just putting them both in at once.
Otherwise, yeah, try and maximize your...
Shovel tease. Alright, Kyong's going to get himself a crystal soon. Yagamoth and Cross both finishing up.
They're a room apart from each other right now.
Alright, here we go, chat. We're getting a shovel check. We do not want worth. We want pedestal.
Wow. We
It's
got
the
worth.
flippers. It's worth. But the mushroom could still be hookshot.
The mushroom could totally still be hookshot.
We just don't know. We just don't know. But we have swim. So, unfortunately unlocks the most items, but it does give them access to the first half of Swamp. And, more importantly, it gives them full access to Ice Palace, which will also lead to the Fat Fairy once Smbai and our other runners complete it. They've already checked the Hobo, which was nothing. And the Waterfall Fairy was nothing, so those would be the other places that are unlocked by Flippers.
Wow, Cross and Yagamoth now really in step with each other.
It's interesting because Yagamoth was the first one in this dungeon, but I think the boots are really helping Cross to come back and push ahead.
I don't even know what the text from the mushroom says, and Kyong just did a check on it.
It says I'm a fungi or something.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm a fungus. I'm a fungus.
Probably I'm a fungi. I don't know.
Boots are at the sluice gate. Cross is having a little bit of trouble with the buttons there.
That's all right. He'll get there. He's just taken the brunt of every one of those rollers. He just wanted to get a little flattened out.
We get a Bombos kill. Since he doesn't have hookshot, he's going to quickly kill the penguins.
Well, he also still only has the Master Sword, so yeah.
And he just picked up a small key, which is really nice to find at the beginning. If you're going to full clear ice, I think getting a small key at that first chest is the best thing.
So, Alucard and I were just having a discussion about this. If you get a key in that first chest, do you bomb jump or do you not bomb jump?
So I have a few rules when it comes to bomb jumping or not. First, do I have Cane? If I do not have Cane, I'm doing a bomb jump. Like, that's number one. Okay. That's the first check. After that, if I'm doing a full clear and I need more than one item, I will say no bomb jump. But if I'm only missing one item, I will do a bomb jump in the hopes that I get it, and then I can just quickly go mode ice, the rest of ice.
Okay.
So that's the way I tend to choose. Oh, we got a death and a fairy from Cross.
Yeah, he totally picked up a fairy on the way into this path, which I think was a very smart move on his part. And he'll probably pick one up before he leaves Death Mountain.
Smbai and Kyong also very close together. The key point, though, is that Kyong actually has Pod done. So, the only advantage Smbai has at this point is if that mushroom is required, because he has those dungeons over his opponent.
Right. But again, Tower of Hera and Desert, not exactly long. Ooh, we have a death from Smbai. I think he has no fairies.
No fairy. Oh, an Ice Palace. That hurts. All the way back at the beginning.
That is a rough dungeon to die in. It's worse if you die in Cold Stare, given that you'll have no magic left at the end of that.
Yeah, you can't even go back into the dungeon. So Yagamoth decided not to fight Trinex. He wasn't making a play for the Sahasrahla pendant. He's gonna eventually dig up Flippers once he gets over there.
So that's that. I mean, like, we're talking. Cross Product's gonna lose 45 seconds to a minute for this fight and cutscene.
But is he gonna gain it when Mushroom is required?
If Mushroom is required, if the pedestal is required, or if, you know, and our runners don't know this, if Sahasrahla Salt Shaker, if he has an item, then that would really put, you know, a huge advantage to Cross.
I don't know. I think that was risky. Yagamoth did see that it was Mushroom, and he also should know that it's a green pendant, so cutting out early I think was a risky play.
I think he just determined, he's like, nope, this is not a thing. The mushroom will not be it. It's like when you dash through the tile room and you're telling yourself over and over again, this is not a thing. The big key will not be here. In Ganon's Tower. You're
Oh, we got a death from... Oh no, cross-product finished. Okay.
Yeah, he had to save and quit off the tower.
For some reason, I thought that was a death. Kyong is finishing his check. We got a flute
in Ice Palace? At the big key location.
So we are just missing Hookshot for our Go Mode item. Unfortunately, that's also what they need to finish Swamp. So it's like they could check all of Mire. They could check the first half of Swamp. Like, it could be any of those locations at this point.
It could even be an Ice Palace.
Sure, there's a couple more they can still get here.
I think I have one item left at this point that Kyong can find. All right, vanilla bombs. Solves that mystery. Oh, this is our first catfish check? No.
No, the other runners have checked it.
I was hoping for something mighty amazing up there.
Alright, Cross is finishing, getting another crystal at this point. Yagamoth, I guess, maybe making his way over to ice. And of course, Kyong and Smbai both in ice. With Smbai's death, though, pushing him slightly behind, but he's about to pick up his flute coming up here. And then, of course, another quick item before they beat the dungeon.
So something of note for Yagamoth, even though he doesn't have boots, he's not going to lose too much time. He's going to lose time, but it's not like one of those items like the bow, where if it was somewhere really easy and he spent the entire game going everywhere in the world and not having the bow. Kind of thing. Unless, you know, Big Key is on the torch, and then that would be really...
Right. He's gonna see it when he does Swamp. He's gonna pick up boots.
Oh, absolutely. The one nice thing about that location is, if Swamp is required, you're probably gonna get whatever's there.
There's Skull finish. We have an Ice Palace finish from Kyong. He's going to go activate his flute, so he will see first what's in the Mire area. He's hoping, of course, for Hookshot to be nice and early, so he can just go. And you know what? If Hookshot is in Mire, Yagamoth has to get boots before he goes over there.
Yes.
Like, we're hoping he sees it when he goes in the swamp, but... yeah, he won't even be able to enter Mire until he picks up boots, if Hookshot is in there.
I kind of want Hookshot to be in there now.
Alright, so Cross sees that it's just a fungus there. Then he has to make the decision if he eventually wants to get that mushroom. I feel like at least one of our runners is going to make a play for it. And now I'm starting to think it's going to be disappointing. But I still have hopes it's Hookshot.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, it's not an Ice Palace. There's a chance it's in Swamp. It could even be in the worst place possible in Swamp, which is the big chest.
The vanilla location, worst possible chest.
Absolutely. Oh, I had that happen to me in when I generated the other day. I was so dumbfounded. I'm like, all right, well, that just happened. That's exciting. Vanilla hookshot would be amazing.
I love that the Trolleys locations in Randomizer are the vanilla locations.
It makes so much sense.
So Cross still not checking that shovel that he picked up. He's gonna do a little more clearing, it looks like, of things he missed. Which is a shame, because that's sort of setting him back at this point. Yagamoth is about halfway through. He's about to pick up his flute. And, of course, Kyong is finishing it now. Did he? He didn't get hookshot. Chat wasn't going crazy, so he's not in go mode yet. And Ether required to get into Mire.
So you had to make the play on Turtle Rock to get
You
into
had
Mire.
to go to Mimic Cave. The best location in Turtle Rock. But, of course, all of our runners have done that, so no big deal. No one is like, oh, where do I go? Because they already all went to Turtle Rock.
But Yagamoth, and you are right, Yagamoth is actually locked out of the Mire area. So even if he gets flute, he is going to be locked out of Mire for a little bit.
Yep. And Kyung did not find hookshot outside of Mire.
Where's
So it
Cross
could be
going?
inside, it could be Fat Fairy, it could be Vanilla. If anything.
Oh, Cross is going to go check his pendant that he got from Salt Dog.
Salt Dog.
I don't know. I'm giving up on his name. Alright, Cross, just think about the items that you have. Think about the items you have.
This is certainly something I learned, is that you really don't want to get burned not checking your fetch quest items. Especially Mushroom if you have Flute. It's like, you could get burned like not putting it out. And I do want to remind everyone that Shovel was also in T-Rock. So T-Rock was doubly worth. It had Ether, and it had Shovel over at Laser Bridge. And we still don't know about Mushroom.
No. Cross product couldn't get it anyway. He knows better than that. He knows better than to... Although keeping his portal might not be such a bad idea.
Interesting location of Big Key up here on the gate. It's nice when it's not like in the Big Key chest, just because
Right.
there's a long cutscene. But you are full clearing it, so they're probably gonna see it anyway.
Half magic.
Oh, Smbai making it. He's doing it. He's going
gonna
for that
go get our
mushroom. Although he doesn't know because he never checked, so he's gonna do a blind pull. And it's interesting because he already has Flute, so he could go to Mire. And he was at Mire because, he was checking the area. But he's like, hey, while I'm here, let's just go get this done.
It's like, what, 2 minutes to do this? That's nothing.
It's risky. There's not an item here. He's doing it just for pedestal. And see, that's the thing he could have checked earlier when he was doing Skull Woods. You always want to remember to do the checks that you can. Information is really useful. That's my opinion, of course, but if you can plan out your route, I just think it's very beneficial.
We have Cross going into desert.
The long way? What?
Yeah, but he's already has all the items here. He's going in to go kill Landmo.
He doesn't check his shovel.
That shovel might troll him. And
Well, we know
Yagamoth-
it has, because that's Oh, but Yagamoth won't be able to go much further. This is where he's missing out on the boots. He's gonna have to leave. Maybe he'll do Fat Fairy next.
No, he'll probably go to Swamp next. He might open up Mire, be my next guess. This is an interesting play, because then Cross
Oh,
still
there's
has to go up.
Hookshot. Kyong is in go mode. He just picked up Hookshot, which that means it was boots locked.
Yes. And the mushroom is a red herring.
Poor for Smbai. Well, he doesn't know. He didn't look at it. But we're going to get a blind pull. Let's see where it leads. Maybe it'll give him a sword upgrade.
I think he hammered it first.
Boots and TR locked.
So he's a little happy, it looks like, about his mushroom that he now has.
So yeah, Yagamoth had to leave. He doesn't have boots. This is basically the one advantage that Cross has at this point. He just has to remember to go get his flippers. Every minute he spends doing other things, Yagamoth is going to eventually find those boots.
And this is unfortunate because we have full knowledge of 4 different racers doing this right now.
All right, let's see. Let's see what mushroom is.
Ooh.
Oh, it's just bombs. Boring old bombs.
They're not boring. That is 1 bomb for each dungeon they completed.
It's true. Oh my gosh. Alright, so Smbai is gonna finish up.
Okay,
the rest
so
of
what
Mire at this point.
we hope that cross product goes, oh, but before I go up to Tower of Hera, I have this shovel, and I should dig up these flippers. That's what we hope happens. He's at Sanctuary. Not...
He's in Sanctuary. Where's he going?
I don't know. Although, I was on a side note, was talking with Cross the other day. He actually has updated his tracker, and it's now on GitHub.
Yes.
So to all the players who are looking for, it's my most favorite tracker, the cross product one. There are a lot of great trackers, don't get me wrong, but this one is now on GitHub and community accessible to make updates and patches to. Ross is checking the one chest he missed in Hyrule Castle.
And he's going the long way.
Well, he's going one way. I don't know if it's longer.
I'm pretty sure it is, because you can just run into the castle and just go straight back.
Yeah, but stair transitions are a lot slower than room transitions. Alright, he got his cash. Cross, before you go up to Hera, this is from me to you. Never mind. Okay. He'll watch it later. He's already on his way.
So he could have forgotten that he got shovel, and then he's gonna just laugh over it later on.
Yeah. But he doesn't have flute, so it's like staring at him in the menu.
So Chad, if you're asking where you can get the tracker, it's similar to what you see on the racer on the screen right now, but it's a personal tracker that you would use during the race. If you watch other racers, they'll be using something like it usually. You can get it on Cross Product's Twitch. So if you just click on his name and click on all of the racers and give them a follow, but if you go to his page, there's a link to it there, and of course it's on GitHub, and yeah.
Yeah, but definitely follow every one of these races. They're putting on one heck of a show for all of us. And so we have 1 mushroom pull so far. How many more mushroom pulls do we think we're gonna have?
Cross Product's gonna go for it because he will not check mushroom or the shovel spot for some reason.
That's okay.
So he's gonna go for it. I don't think
Kyong's not going to.
Kyong's not. He's in go mode. There's a chance Yagamoth might, because he's thinking I'm missing boots, and he probably just forgot to check the damn area, the floodgate area. It was...
You can call. I mean, in this particular case for him, it's the dam area.
That's true. That's what he'll be calling it.
Oh, okay. So that is
actually
super dangerous. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the update for Cross Products Tracker should be up.
You know,
just release the latest version.
You go to the GitHub and there's like links to just pop it open. It's all web based, which is also awesome. I personally agree with anything that's web based, just like the randomizer.
Oh, here we go. Yagamoth.
Nope.
Could be no.
Well, no, he'll see it from when he goes in, right?
No, do you think he could be doing the Fat Fairy?
There's only one way to find out if he goes to the Fat Fairy right now. Wow.
Yep, there it is. We're getting a Fat Fairy check.
And Kyong is just like in total ghost town here. He is.
What is cross product doing?
I didn't.
Oh, he's doing the any percent route instead of doing like a save and quit or anything. He's actually making the route to pedestal. This is what you would do. You would finish Hera, and you take this path to get over. It's probably slower though because you can just save and quit to Sanctuary.
I don't know if it is slower though. Maybe. Like you have to think of the number of transitions. That's where your time is mostly getting eaten up.
Well, I feel like there's a lot more transitions this way.
Maybe. We'll count them. We'll time it out, and by that I mean I'm not going to count or time them out.
Is that bomb close enough?
Yeah, it's like a 3 block wide radius.
We got butter. There is vanilla butter sword at the Fat Fairy.
Wow.
We have a mushroom for cross product. What do you want to make a bet? He checks mushroom before shovel.
Well, the upside is the mushroom might put his mindset in the right place of check fetch quests. And he's gonna go check the shovel after doing all of that.
He's gonna be kicking himself so hard. He's like, he could have done this at any point.
Yeah.
Yagamoth's still looking for the boots, though.
I'm hoping that actually Cross doesn't ever check that mushroom.
Oh, hold up. It's time, guys. We need to get some guesses in chat. Kyong is making his way. He has all 7 crystals. He's making his way to Ganon's tower. So it's that time to get your guess in where you think the big key is. So pick a number between 1 and 22. Depending on how much you want to troll our runners here, you can go a higher number, make them, search everything.
That would be hilarious if what their guess is, like the average of their guesses is where it got put.
Isn't the average just going to be like 14? Which, by the way, is my guess because Bob's chest always has the big key.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock out and say it's in its most likely location. As a V6, which would be the randomizer room.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Do you remember when there was that bug that like it could only be in 8 locations in all of GT?
Well, what? It was like only randomizer room, Bob's chest, or Ice Armos. Like I think that was it.
It was something so hilarious. It was like just don't ever go into that room or that room. And I think it was Desi was testing something and just left the code in there like that.
We have 2 small keys on the right-hand side, so it looks like Kyong is just gonna make a play for it.
It's not a bad play. It's actually legitimately a bad play. If there are more keys on the right side, that means there are less small keys on the left side, which means the left side is more likely to have non-small key things like big keys.
Oh, here we go. Yagamoth just realized what he missed. There's the boots.
The pause and pull.
Oh, he forgot. He must have forgotten. If we get an interview, we're gonna have to ask him about that. He's like not even gonna check the item after that. It's like, okay, no, I needed boots. This is what I needed.
We're starting at the Sanctuary. He's gonna go check all the boot locations first.
Okay, well, they're quick checks.
Yeah, although now, so like, for Cross, he needed Yagamoth to essentially go into Swamp.
Right.
But this isn't bad. And Yagamoth, in his pathing right now, he'll check these 2 locations, and then hopefully he'll go to Mire. Like, that would be his best possible play. Did we find nothing on the right side?
We found nothing on the right.
That's...
So he did not continue from the right-hand side and go to Armos. He just quickly went to the left-hand side.
This isn't terrible. This is, gets you a lot of locations. Oh, we have our big key already. If you would have gone left, you would have gotten it on chess 4-ish.
Was it the first one he opened?
It was the second one he opened.
Okay, so that's 5, and then he went right. So if your guess is 5 or 9, give yourself a cookie. I think that counts.
Wait, I want a cookie.
Did you guess 5 or 9?
No, I just want a cookie.
Sorry, those are the rules.
All right. Well, I'm accepting donations of cookies at AGDQ this year. I will guess 5s and 9s the entire time.
So Yagamoth, now that he has boots, he's going to make his way into Mire.
The best possible play he has. This is going to put Cross about half a dungeon behind him. Depending on what he chooses to do.
Yeah, really not checking that fetch quest item. It's such a quick check to go run over. It's like, what, like 30 seconds just to go over there, check your shovel spot? Like, just putting that off for so long allowed Yagamoth to catch up. But at the same time, Yagamoth did the same thing by forgetting that floodgate, which is where boots were.
90 minutes is the long time to realize that you missed out on boots.
Yeah.
He's going to be feeling... So, my thoughts are he's going to feel super behind now. And he's not. He's going to feel behind and probably make some more cavalier choices. Like, he'll probably go right side on GT.
Oh, there's the third item for Cross, so he knows right away he can just leave and go fight the boss.
I find myself forgetting how many items I've collected in Ice Palace.
I have a tracker. Cross products tracker.
Sure.
It helps me keep track of how many items I grabbed in the dungeon.
Wait, a tracker that helps you keep track of things?
Yes.
Shenanigans.
So the nice thing about Ice Palace is that the small pots down there is just enough to cast bombos. I learned this from, I think Alu was the one who told me.
Yes, it would be a quarter of your magic bar, and each little magic is an eighth of your magic bar. So each one of those little magic things is one cast of the fire rod. Ooh, cross product a little early on his spin, and
still he has
Yagamoth,
tempered. It's not going to be too bad.
yeah, he has a fairy too, so he should be safe. And Yagamoth has his big key for Mire.
But he's going to check the right-hand side first, and he's just about to pick up his hook shot. It's in this chest here.
Also known as the map chest.
There it is.
Or
There it is.
the chest that I
Yagamoth
found
is in
hook shot
go
in
mode.
3 times. Alright, so Cross's best bet at this point is to just straight up go to Misery Mire. Don't check anything else, Cross.
I don't think he has anything
activate
left
your
to
flute.
check.
He has to activate his flute.
Alright, so Kyong is about to get to the Alu chest. He's going to ignore it. Nice.
If you don't see a dot done, then you probably ignore that.
No, I don't ignore that.
Well, okay. If you have silver arrows, you have tempered sword, you have full heart.
Oh, you're talking about ignoring validation chests.
What chest?
Yes, absolutely.
No idea what chest that is.
Smbai's almost done Swamp here, and he'll be... Oh, he still has to do Pod!
We got a triple and a single. Oh, Smbai still has to do pod, you said?
Yeah. I forgot he hasn't been in there. Just he still has Master Sword, and he's in go mode, so he's not going to get tempered. And we also know that the Fat Fairy is the one who has Butter Sword, so we're going to see a Master Sword clear from Smbai.
This is going to be relatively quick for, a Turtle Rock and potential trolley pendant pull kind of seed. Oh, we got some police lyrics. And we have Yagamoth 1 dungeon ahead of cross product. Still open to anything happening in that particular race.
Yeah. Alright, Kyong is already in that 3rd phase. I mean, it's gonna be quick. He has Tempered Sword, 4 more hits. He has the Silver Arrows ready. Do we know where Space Jump is? I think it's in... I'm thinking Norfair. That's what I'm feeling right now.
So I finally finished Super Metroid as an adult, and
So when are you gonna start speedrunning it?
I've never. 74% item collection rate.
That's not bad. And did you have any help, or is that just what you found on your own?
That's from watching other people like race over the years.
Nice.
So I kind of knew where a lot of stuff was.
All right, so we just had what is it? One more shot here from Silvers, and there is Kong finishing. He just finished with a time of 1:40.42. However, Smbai just forfeited.
I think he felt that he was so far behind at that
He
point.
needs to finish pod, then he has to go up to G Tower. I can understand. I did the same thing in my first race too.
It looks like he's gonna continue running it, which is good, but he's like, the pressure's off. We can just kind of move on, have fun, hang out with Kiki in the what is that area? Nope. Yep. I don't know what that area is called outside of Palace of Darkness. The Ruins of Darkness, maybe. So now it's going to be kind of an execution thing between the Yagamoth and cross product for our secondary race. Not a secondary race, but our top race. The race at the top. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Alright, so Cross is entering his second to last dungeon. Yagamoth is at the beginning of his last dungeon. So yeah, it's all coming down to execution at this point. Let's see if all that practice that Cross did with his Oko play paid off. That was just yesterday. He's probably so tired of Zelda by now. And here is our winner, Kyong. I might have said your name wrong. I apologize. But congrats, you're the first of our racers to finish.
Yep, GG. You are well ahead of everyone. So what'd you think of that?
I was so scared. I was super scared of either Pyramid or Catfish having anything.
It's a fair point. At least the Pyramid's not terribly far to check. The Catfish, a bit more. I'll give you that.
So, how did... I mean, that play, of course, going into Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, you went... I think you went in twice, didn't you?
Yeah, I went there before getting the Fire Rod. I had the feeling that because of the locations of stuff, something probably would... And then I looked, well, if there's nothing in Hera, it's gonna be quite a hassle to come back here. So I'll just jump in right now to see if it's Fire Rod locked. And it was. Then I went to Hera, got the Fire Rod. Well, if I did that before, I may as well.
Yep,
So that was a good call.
Excellent play.
That shovel.
Yeah. I was... Yeah, that... worried because there was no direct progression item there, so but yeah, the shovel changed everything.
Absolutely did. Well, thank you for running the race, and I should know this, but are you in the 1-0 or the 0-1 bracket of the Swiss right now?
1, so I'm 1-1 now.
1-1. That's a good place to be so far. I mean, that's You're still tracking or on track to continue for getting into one of those key bracket spots.
Yeah.
So I do want to point out real quick, crossproduct just picked up his hookshot. He's now in go mode. However, he has to finish this dungeon. Yagamoth, and then he has to go do swamp. Yagamoth is well on his way into G Tower, and we'll have to see if he decides to gamble right-hand side. So let me, I guess, should we also, we'll pull an Smbai as well, real quick.
Well, I guess we'll continue commentating. I don't know if Smbai is gonna have time to chat, even though
Yeah,
he
he's focusing on finishing here. So we'll let him do his thing. Yeah, so we have about a full dungeon difference right now between crossproduct and Yagamoth. It's really interesting because Yagamoth was the last to get boots. So this is, of course, the other race from Kong and Smbai, so it didn't really make any difference between what was going on between both of them, but yeah, even though Yagamoth was walking everywhere, you could see that he's okay, he's going into Ganon's tower. Like, boots doesn't make that much of a difference. The key point is what items they block, and it is nice to be able to dash everywhere instead of just walk everywhere.
right.
But I feel like it's not necessarily required.
Oh, it's absolutely required to have boots.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. 100% of the time, boots are required. Now, they may be, locked behind silly places like Ganon's tower, but boots are always required. Alright, so Yagamoth going for the right side gamble. And I think it's because he feels behind. It was, you've gotten boots at the floodgate at an hour and a half into the game. You're gonna just feel behind.
Yagamoth is a great speed walker. At this point, yeah, you got a lot of practice this game.
So cross product's gonna take about 5 minutes doing Swamp Palace, getting up to GT.
Sounds about right total.
Yeah, and that's gonna require, like, there's no way. The only way that Yagamoth could spend more time is if he went all the way on to Ice Armos right there, and he did not. So he'll be getting his big key, and he even has Gold Sword. So
right, it's gonna be very quick for him. That Gold Sword, the fact that he got it, I think is. Oh, he mirrored by accident. He thought he had hammer equipped.
I think Willard knows a lot about that.
Was he the one that did it to the big chest in Pod?
No, I think there's one of like Andy doing the hammer jump and then mirroring right before opening the chest. Willard did it in Misery Mire, I think, right before opening like big key chest or down towards Vitreous or something.
Alright, so we have a big key for Yagamoth. He's making his way upstairs. And Cross is just starting Swamp.
And this should be a really quick swamp for Cross. He has to do only 2 floodgatey type things in here, and then he should be well on his way to killing Argus. There are like 7 R's in his name.
So there's the big key for Smbai as well. So right now we sort of have like this mini match between Yagamoth and Smbai, fighting for the coveted second place. But again, they're not actually racing each other. Kyong was the one who won in the match off between him and Smbai. So Smbai has forfeited. Maybe he'll rejoin just to get some SRL points. Does it even matter? In a 1v1?
Do SRL points count?
Sure. Internet points.
They're internet points. They're worth one whole thing.
Internet. One whole internet.
One whole internet.
Rip sub 3 menu.
It was
So
the
if
third.
you guys have questions for him, he's in chat. Feel free to
And-
ask him about his race.
Carcat just let us know it was the third dark room in Mire Willard mirrored out of, which that has to be the most painful because the first dark room is the one that's like difficult.
Yes.
And once you get past that one, and the second one isn't so bad. The third one, it's either he's talking about the one with the spike in it.
Yeah,
that is
that
the
one
one
could be tough.
Yeah, and it's if you don't have your perfect timing down of just knowing when to go where, you're basically getting chewed up by a spike for a few hits.
So Yagamoth did pass up on getting the fairy heal. Like you can turn that what's this called? The yellow spinny thing?
The yellow spinny thing is a bunny bead.
Wait, is that really what it's called?
That's what I call it.
Okay. So yeah, you can turn those into fairies, and probably more importantly, it also makes the Lammolas pop up all at the same time. Like right away.
It does, which makes it harder to kill them in a zero cycle.
But it's faster.
Cross product just picking off those little puffs like almost in order. And Yagamoth doing the... Did he do the fall off strat?
He did. And he's actually lacking magic, so he's going to pick up the magic pot here. Alright, so cross product's done. He has a full... Look at those dungeons. He's done all the dungeons. So, do we have another race coming on after this Vtour?
I think we absolutely do. This is non-stop racing action. Just amazing. It's the sheer number of people in this tournament is, we have 100 people that started in this tournament, and that means like 50 races a week, about.
Yeah.
And then the secondary tournament, which is trying to get through 150 people doing group of fives. So they have 4 races each person. Although, I mean, you cut that in half. But it's like a whole lot of racing going on.
Ooh, Smbai taking a fall from Moldorm there. And crossproduct's having trouble finding that portal.
That portal can be just mean. Actually, all the portals in this game are kind of weird in the way that, like, they're weirdly pixel perfect and so not at the same time. Like, you can hang out on top of one, walk through it, and do a whole bunch of stuff. And then any other time, if you, like, just come within 10 feet of it, it's like, all right, you're going to the Dark World.
Alright, here goes Cross. He's entering Ganon's Tower now. Yagamoth just finished Aghanim 2. He's about to go tackle Ganon, and unless he falls like 3 times the Ganon, he should have this locked in.
Yeah, gold sword, silver arrows. He's got 36 arrows he can shoot. I'm pretty sure he has potions. Yeah, it would have to be like a fall and a death, because the death will take up a lot of time, but let's not wish that upon anyone in their Ganon fight. I know my last race, I sat there going into Ganon saying, I'm not going to fall, I'm not going to fall, and then proceeded to immediately fall in phase 4.
Oh, man.
It's rough. But it was mostly because actually I got caught, Ganon like teleported right on top of me when I was going to go light the torch. So, that happens. And...
Oh, I think he was going to do
the Dark Magician?
Yeah, the Dark Magician track, because he went left right away. He was equipping Mire, and I think he was going to go full right, no matter what. But it ended up paying off, of course, because that's where the key was.
And
Cross,
you
of
know
course,
what?
had a lot of practice doing Ganon's Tower when he was doing Oko yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that movement through that room, and that was an Oko movement.
It's
That's
so ingrained now.
That's somebody who's died a lot in that place.
All right, there you go. There's a finish from Yagamoth. And he finishes with a time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 59 seconds, just clinching the sub 155. I'm going for, and he's gonna go for a walk. He had a 90-minute walk. I probably shouldn't have said that. It's so mean. Alright, Smbai, and here, as I mentioned earlier, he's doing the Master Sword strats because he missed out on the big chest in Pod, which had a sword, and the Fat Fairy, since he never had to check it. I mean, I guess he could have checked it before Mire, but he didn't. But he does have silvers, so this will be quick. Once he gets past his face.
And Big G. Did we already say Big GG to Yagamoth? Did that happen?
I did. I thought I did anyway.
You did. Sorry, I was adminning.
Yagamoth might join us in a bit. He is actually taking a breather.
And actually,
After that almost 2-hour run.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing very, very soon, bringing in our next set of commentation and racers.
Oh no, Smbai was just a little. He was like a pixel too far to the north, and he got clipped by that fireball thing. Spinny fireball. Yeah, make sure you stick around, all. We do have another race coming on after this. As Vitor was saying, we have like 50 races every week. Because everyone has to get their races in for the week. And we have 6 weeks total of this. This is the second week. So we have 4 more for this.
That's true. And I mean, that and the secondary tournament has probably something like 75 races a week going on, just for the sheer number of people that are trying to get all their races in. But I think we're about to very, very soon transfer over. We're gonna have crossproduct finish up his run here at the top, and I am very happy and proud to announce our next set of commentators for the next match coming up. It looks like Ninnies. And are you with anyone, Ninnies?
Yes, I am. I'm joined by the one and only Hie408.
Well, absolutely. That's going to be wonderful. Jet, it's Vitor and Jet. We're going to move along, mosey on over and go watch this stream. Let you guys take over. It's been a huge pleasure being able to commentate this double match. So much going on with Kyong, Smbai, crossproduct, Yagamoth. Make sure everyone follows these people. Make sure you follow Jet082. He is a big contender. And then, Jet, do you have anything to say?
Well, it was hectic, but it was fun. So, thank you for having me. I hope you all enjoyed this. Stick around. We have another race coming up. Make sure you give our racers a follow before the next race starts. So here you go. Looks like Fiesel's transferring over. Hie, Ninnies, take it away.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jet and Vitor, for commentating that double race. It's not always easy tracking all those items. Also give a big shout out to their tracker, Sir Link-A-Lot777. Make sure you give them a lovely follow. But yeah, so the race we got for you coming up is Mr. Barry Bonds versus, gosh, I hope I don't butcher this, but Monakai85?
Onochi85.
Minucci85. Awesome. I'm sure I won't say that incorrectly in the future. So how are you doing today, Hiei?
I'm doing fine. How are you, ninnies?
Oh, I'm fantastic, my friend. So see, looking at the hash, we got the burrito, the green pendant, 2 blue footballs, and the bow. And Mr. Barry Bonds, as you guys know, is he's got a Gatorade itch. He needs that liquid hydration and those electrolytes to keep himself going fast with these seeds.
And looks like Chat has remembered what happened last time. He's definitely got a Gatorade itch going.
Oh yeah, it's likely we're not going to see that that mistake happening in the future. It seems that in the IRC chat he has eliminated all of his alerts. So I'm sad to see those go. I rather like that alert. I guess if you want to listen to that alert anymore, you're gonna have to go follow our upcoming racers.
Absolutely. And we do have that in the comms, I believe. Which we'll set up. Yeah.
Now, I haven't never seen Minucci race. Do we know too much about Minucci? Have you seen any of the races coming from this? Because I've seen Barry Bonds, and Barry Bonds is pretty quick.
Oh, Onochi is definitely a solid runner. I've seen him race quite a few times, and he does like to visit dungeons.
That's what 26 likes those dungeon visits.
Look what Cross just did.
Rather disappointed with this. At least he's going out with a bang, am I right?
All right, Cross definitely going out with a bang. Hey, he was basically thinking this way: one bomb deserves another.
Oh yeah, and he's got 31 of them too.
All right, looks like Cross is going back up, picking out Ganon now.
Oh, and the race has started.
Woo, that was quick.
All right, a nice heart container in the first chest. Both of our racers choosing to go to Link's house, and immediately after going to escape. And we have 2 crystals,
blue.
1 Hera, and 1 in Eastern. And then you said Desert was blue pendant?
Yep, blue is desert.
Not bad at all. So we see Barry Bonds choosing to try to get these this tree pull, and Minucci going straight for the items. So it looks like the mid-tier tree pull is just blue rupees.
Yeah, blue rupees for now. A red boomerang has been found by Minucci.
Getting a little bit of magic here and using those pots to defeat the guards. Hopefully, Minucci's going to get a bomb drop here. Nope. Yes, that is correct. The Lagarang.
Of course, he deserves blue.
Ooh, interesting. So Minucci did the second tier tree pull and then saved and quit. I kind of like that choice of routing. So Barry Bonds saving and quitting, and early divergence here.
I think
So
he's
where is
going
Barry
for
Bonds
the southern path here to collect bombs from the bushes.
Oh yes, that's right. The 2 bushes that that lead up to the Haunted Grove.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Getting stuck there.
Yeah, he's not having a lot of luck with these guards, or luck with those bomb drops either. So he's got to come back and reload the area. Only one
Looks like
bomb
he
this
found
time.
one. Yay, nice. Quick lumberjack check here. Femininity looks like, oh, it's the K.